Bacon.
Are we live?
We are now live.
Let me tell you all the swears I know.
Feel like you
Rated
mostly
for
stuck in the
offensiveness
two
from first to last.
feel like you
So, like,
mostly
lowest
expected the
defensiveness
two
is
of
like
them.
poot.
One of these days, we're gonna.
No, we start with like, the swears that your grandmother goes, oh, I wish you would clean up your language. So those are words like mud, grime, and dust because they are dirty.
I've never heard anyone react to the word dust in a terrible way.
That's because you haven't
myself,
said dust with the force and anger. I said dust when I stubbed my toe.
Okay,
If it's the worst,
this is the mana,
if it's
ladies
the worst
and
word you
gentlemen.
know, it becomes a swear.
No more swearing. It's time for mana.
Ah, fuck. I don't like mana very much.
So this is
My
Visions
new
of
favorite
Mana.
mana, shitheads of mana.
So a couple of things to cover before we get going. First of all, I have skipped a great swath of beginning of the game.
Woohoo! Oh, you have a double jump. It's a good game.
That means you have to tell us who these people are and what their motivations are.
I will. That's what I was getting to. So,
One of them is boy, the other is girl. This is traditional.
Okay, I see that. Yes.
That's pretty much it.
All right. The boy's name is Larry.
Okay, so
And the girl's name is Gwendolyn.
the reason the game takes so freaking long at the beginning is because they have to establish the world. The basic concept is, okay, you know how every other mana game had, like, the elementals, correct? Like fire,
Oh.
water, etc.
Oh, I guess.
So there are different, like, colonies that are all themed after the elements. And every 4 years, they sacrifice a human being to the mana tree. Each one of the colonies.
And the mana tree accepts these sacrifices.
Yes. Now, the whole idea is that you are from the Fire Nation. I guess we're just going to go with that.
Oh, when the Fire Nation attacked.
This blonde here is the sacrifice for the fire area.
Wait,
and
I would have assumed the guy was the sacrifice. I mean, look at how fiery he is. Everything
well,
about
he's
his
also from the
screams
Fire
fire.
Nation, so he's cool. But
Okay.
but his idea is that he's going to pick up everybody on the way to the tree and protect all of them. And he's going to fail at that. But
Just get all the sacrifices done at once.
yeah,
So he's delivering. So he's delivering the sacrifice, and he does not see a problem with that.
no, and in fact, the entire world is like super into it. Like at the beginning of the game, the blonde is chosen, and like there's literally people standing around a campfire like, oh man, I hope it's me. I hope I'm the one that gets sacrificed to the mana tree. Like it is.
Let me guess, she's the only one with any trepidations. Because it would actually be kind of funny if she was super into it too.
So the dude with the sword is like, he trained for this, so he was always going to be the dude with the sword.
Okay.
And the blonde is like kind of secretly likes him, not super secretly. And so she was totally psyched when she got chosen to be sacrificed because it means that they get to hang out.
But then she's gonna die.
Yes!
So, like, when you say sacrificed, the tree, you said, accepts these sacrifices, yes? Because this is a magic world where magic shit happens. Like, in the background, there's a gigantic floating pillar with, like, the particle effects going around. That this world is magic as fuck, yes?
Yes, that's the basic thing, is that she will show up and turn into a little magical ball and get eaten by the tree.
Sorry.
So the tree does eat them, so the tree is evil.
Well, it is eventually revealed what is going on, but we're at the very beginning of the game where it's just been established what's happening.
Okay, because for a moment I thought this was like, when the Philistines made a sacrifice to Baal, and Elijah just sat there off in the corner, just like making fun of them for 4 hours, and then he covered his sacrifice in water and said, "Hey God, you know what to do." And God accepted his sacrifice.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite Bible stories.
I mean, this is straight up like, the idea is that we're dealing with, oh, this is horrifying to you and me, but to everybody in this world, it's like, hell yeah, I get to be a sacrifice.
Fuck yeah, human sacrifice. Also, you have 2 air dashes, but can you climb? Because this looks like a very Breath of the Wild ass world.
I mean, this is not a Breath of the Wild ass world, but it is one where you've got a double jump, and technically your dash is infinite as long as you don't completely hit the ground, so to speak. Like, you will lose height as you go.
All right, sure. Let me rephrase.
Places and...
all that shit in the background, so you can just go there and run all over it. Yes.
Some of it, like you can't get up those cliffs, but as you can see,
bullshit.
there's a lot of room to run around.
But it's kind of sandboxy otherwise.
Yes.
See that mountain? You can air dash at it.
Pretty much. Like, you've got...
It didn't look like a skybox.
You've got, like, the previous game, which this is partially... Like, it feels like Trials of Mana 3D. Like, that was still a game that was based on, like, running around on the ground and just a series of paths. This is a game that was clearly designed from the ground up to be, like... There's all sorts of crazy crap you can do around. Like, Trials of Mana was hallways where you could do some neat acrobatic stuff around the hallways. This is, like, straight up a world you can explore.
All right.
Now
So
start
I'll say
exploring it. You've been preambling this entire time.
Yep. A lot of preambling. I will say this looks the most like an actual fucking video game out of all the other Manas, which I would describe as mildly interactive paintings.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, the Mana games from the beginning came from RPGs that were, like, barely anything. So to speak.
Bad.
Well, I mean, not bad, but just... but
They were bad.
pictures.
Also, time and technology has advanced.
Yes, and that's the thing, is that even Final Fantasy now doesn't have, like, fight...
Somehow most of them did not. Somehow most of the Mana games did not advance.
Yeah. Like, there was the one that was like the remake of the first one, the third remake of the first one, the 3D one,
Yeah.
where some
Adventure.
fucking how it had the same, like, a companion AI, which is to say no AI at all.
Which is not to say
That would
that
be
Blonde
difficult.
here is particularly helpful, but she tries harder.
I mean, video game companions have always been, you know, one of my favorites game characters ever is Sonic the Hedgehog. Just a stand-up dude, that guy. I love him. But I also love his little buddy Tails. Tails' AI in Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 for that matter was just go to where Sonic is. And 9 times out of 10, that meant just repeating your inputs, but like a second behind. And there was a failsafe for when he, like, you know, went too far off screen and despawned. And, like, if you jumped somewhere, he had, like, the sense to jump again. He knew what the jump was. Very, very simple AI. But he added a lot of character to the game, and I liked that a lot. It was fun.
Yes, agreed.
So I don't think, like, a companion character in a video game needs to be mechanically sophisticated. And oftentimes, if, like, they are too smart, it starts getting annoying, because then they'll start, like, you know, basically winning battles for you.
Kill stealing.
Yeah. And, like, you know, you as the player would generally want the player character to be the one doing the playing.
Me, big power.
And there are, like, ways this can be mitigated. There are, like, games where you can, like, you know, exert a lot of, like, control over the companions, or no control at all sorts of stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, I don't think her being, you know, not mechanically sophisticated is necessarily a bad thing at all.
Now, the other thing that, like, preambly, and here, you got a choice. So, this game gradually unlocks an elemental job system.
Okay.
So...
I think you should be a fireman, because you're from the Fire Nation.
So this is just Trials of Mana Remake 2.
Well, no, this is actually, it's actually much better than Trials of Mana, because you've got a situation where you can, it's more like Final Fantasy 3, where you can switch between jobs at all times. So, you can go nuts. So,
Is it like Final Fantasy 3 in the sense that nothing carries over?
Not nothing, but it's not as robust as, like, Final Fantasy 5. Like, well, I guess it's kind of like Final Fantasy 5. It's not as much like later ones. So what do we want to do? We want to choose Fire Elemental?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, given where you are and what you do.
I wasn't aware that shovel was an element.
That's Earth.
You know, for some reason, I figured Earth would be like a Minecraft soil block. cannot say why.
You would think that.
I would, wouldn't I? It sucks. I hate it.
So now I've got a big lance and a shield because it's like the different elements basically map to different kind of jobs from kind of familiar things. Like this is kind of a defensive class, like knight or something like that, paladin, and of course I can launch fireballs and grab.
Goggle Bob grabbing balls.
Yeah, this game definitely relies it's technically like pickups or whatever, but this game basically gives you Mario coins as an excuse to run around the environments.
I always appreciate games giving you a million little doodads to get, but just by going places.
Yeah, no, that's
I've seen people complain about the Koroks in Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm like,
who are
why?
these monsters?
What is wrong with you? You mean that I don't want like a little wooden dude at the top of the hill I just decided to climb to just be there? Like congratulating me for going to the top of the hill?
Being little guys being little dudes.
Yeah, just little guys being little dudes. I want that.
Yay.
I love little guys being little dudes.
So fuck that mushroom. Fuck him up.
Yeah.
Absolutely destroy that guy.
Rabbits and mushrooms. That's basically the entirety of mana to me.
Yeah,
Love
that's
him up.
same. I have
don't
now
really
watched
got
you
those.
play literally every mana game, and same. I don't know anything about any of them.
Only this one and the last one looked fun to a normal human being. Legend
Yeah.
of Mana looked fun for sickos.
Yeah.
Legend of Mana is fun, but it's fun over the course of 20 hours.
Yeah, like I said, it's fun for sickos.
It's not worth it. It's not worth 20 hours.
Very pretty though.
It's so pretty though. Hey Goggle Bob, stupid idea. First one tonight. You have forced us to watch you play through multiple 50-hour JRPGs. Yes?
I mean, technically,
Sure,
yes.
There's sometimes.
And you actually, spent 50 hours beating some of them, as tradition.
Quite powerful.
I think it's my turn.
What on earth are you threatening skies?
Yeah, I'm threatening skies.
Skies is the only thing I was thinking that you would choose, so I've
That
got
is the
no
only
problem
game I
with
would
that.
choose. That's the only one I like enough to dedicate that amount of time to.
It's a beautiful, wonderful game, but we have our next marathon planned out first.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, that's first. Like, this is like pie in the sky, far-flung future. Maybe if I am maybe I'll do all my grinding off screen, so each video will just be a dungeon nonsense.
Do my grind.
Or visiting a town, or exploring, or something.
Yeah, like hit a
Stuff that
story
isn't
beat.
the fight
Hit a story
grind.
beat every video, because part of the fun of Skies to me is just dicking around finding discoveries.
Yeah, like
So
that would
I
have to be a fun video.
There would have to be some obviously we'd have to dedicate a video of that because it's an important part of the game and I love it. But I would not want to just have entire videos of me just dicking around accomplishing nothing. That sounds miserable.
Yeah, I mean, when I've done the 50-hour RPGs, even going back to the original Final Fantasy Maxima or whatever, World of Final
Well,
Fantasy.
that was just mean.
Of course, but that
All
was
the dog shit.
that was a game that I definitely powered up between streams, so that way it wouldn't be.
Oh, we're up.
Oh, we're up.
Yes, exactly.
Oh,
Hey, V. Gogglebob is
Hey.
playing the first mana game that I look at and say, yeah, sure, I could see myself enjoying that a little bit. It's got an air dash and shit.
Double jumps and air dashes.
Double jumps and air dashes and a big fuck off map to just run around and kill things in. I mean, yeah, sure. That looks all right.
you think, oh, I'm just mana curious. Like, it doesn't have to be a whole thing. But then the mana games are busting out the double jumps. They're busting out the air dashes, and you're like, I don't know. This is awakening a hunger inside me I can't explain.
I'm horrified.
Oh,
at
no,
the
no, I'm not
concept
going
of,
that far.
A
I'm not
weird,
gonna, I'm not gonna buy this thing, but
I'm
I'm looking
horrified
at
at
it.
the concept of double jumps as a sex thing.
No,
mean,
man.
you know,
no,
Yoda's
listen,
in
Well,
this.
that's
listen.
just a. Well, fanboy, that
V-
just demonstrates a lack of imagination. Yes, AV.
I don't use my
this
single
is not
jump during
about-
sex.
This is not about mana gaming as an identity. This is just about men who play mana games.
Yeah, sometimes you just play a little mana on the side.
Yeah, exactly. You know.
Like that Law and Order quote about how I'm not gay, I love women and have sex with men.
Guess what?
Law and Order is an
You-
absolute abomination
That's
of a
very
show.
funny, but there are definitely people who are like that.
Yes. And you know what? I'm not going to question them. I'm just
And
going to be
most
like,
of
yeah,
them
sure,
are on
man.
chan boards nowadays.
You do you.
Most of them are on what?
Are on chan boards nowadays.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. B is
B,
this
is
guy.
this gay?
I literally just had sex with a man. B, is this gay? You don't
You
understand. He was very pretty.
I it's like, oh no, it's just, like, I wish I could find the day, like the hour even. I'm sure it's out there that B just turned into dudes posting gay porn. Like that was it. Like forevermore.
At some point, it became like Dear Penthouse, but for extremely homosexual hypotheticals.
Yeah, exactly. It's like dear penthouse, but for I don't know, but for something. I just can't bring myself. I can't bring myself to interrogate that life. I'm decidedly not about that life.
Same.
So on another note, my next question was going to be, wait, you already picked the next thing? What's the next thing?
You're gonna like it.
Oh.
It's gonna be the Sunsoft RoboCop game.
Nah, it's every single Crazy Taxi. All three of them.
A couple of guys I know on Blue Sky floated the idea of a games done quick with live musical accompaniment, which
And then
brought to
someone
mind.
actually did that.
What's that?
Have you seen that video?
The Crazy Taxi GDQ run had live musical accompaniment.
Oh, I did not know this.
They not
Oh, I thought you were
only
building to that. Oh,
they not only played every song pretty much perfectly, but there's only like 5 songs. But
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
completely on point. But they also, every time the level ended, since he was doing like the quick challenge mode, they just stopped on exactly that note and went
that's
straight
incredible.
back to the just banging out the menu drum beat. Since
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Okay. Crazy
Yeah, it's
Taxi live
amazing.
backing
Absolutely worth a
band
watch.
by Chuckles825. Here
Yeah.
we go. This year. This is glorious.
yeah, no, this came out this week.
Yeah.
Or last week rather.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of good runs of the last GDQ, as usual.
That's
I appreciated Superman 64 running at like 20% of the screen size.
fucking
That's speed
Superman
tech.
64.
the thing that fucks with me is apparently to do speed runs you have to have the hardware in place. So like as the hardware
It'll depend on it depends upon the game, like, because it's all ad hoc. Whoever
Yeah,
cares
basically-
enough is the one who runs it.
Basically, like for a lot of NES games, they accept emulator versions now because NES emulation is essentially one-to-one to playing it on a console now.
And it's also the vast majority of people are going to be playing it on an emulator anyway.
Yeah, because like the NES
Because
came
fuck
out
paying
in
for
the
NES
80s.
games with the prices.
The
Oh,
NES came out in the 80s. It's not gonna you're not gonna
I
get
spent
them easily.
$1,000 on Little Samson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god, you know what? Games Done Quick is the crowd is so full of people in their 40s. It's amazing.
Oh, it's
This
an
is like
aging demographic.
It's
Yeah.
like a They Might Be Giants show. Like
Ah,
That sounded personal.
They Might Be
That
Giants
was,
is
in fact, an attack.
They Might Be Giants is a band full of men in their 60s who play exclusively for people in their 40s.
yeah. Like if you were like 10 years old watching Tiny Toons, you are now
That's it.
the primary. They Might Be Giants fans.
You know, the guys from They Might Be Giants get the call from Warner Brothers and like, yeah, hey, we want to put a couple of your songs on our show. How's that sound? The guys from They Might Be Giants, yeah, what the fuck? That sounds like a laugh. This will definitely not come to dominate. This will not come to dictate our lives for the rest, like for the rest of for the rest of our playing careers.
MICKEYMOUSE.
Okay, so
Yes. the
before we
Mickey
get
Mouse
to talking
Club.
about other random stuff, I'm just going to
It
note that
wasn't.
this game weirdly has like a Breath of Fire thing going on, where every nation has like a weird, different furry thing going on. Like, this is a little group of dragons. There's cat people later. There's squirrels. I'm not exaggerating. But for whatever reason, they determined that this town is full of dragon people with southern accents. And the spoilers character that is currently on the screen and about to be a party member, for whatever reason, they decided sounds like Dolly Parton. And that's what we got here.
I mean, that beats the voice that I would ascribe to any given sprite character in the series so far, so...
100% agreed. Yeah, no, well, I mean, it's like the polar opposite. She sounds weirdly mature for a character that's supposed to be a teenager. Because, that's kind of how Dolly Parton sounds.
I mean, Dolly
Listen, all
Parton
I'm
is
saying is
70,
that-
I want to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not sure she
all
sounds
I'm-
70, but she does sound like a woman in her 40s, in my opinion. But
All I'm saying is she should start singing Jolene.
I would have no objections to that.
I mean, it's a good song.
Dolly Parton will be 79 next week.
Oh,
God bless
happy
her.
birthday to her.
When's her actual birthday?
19th.
Oh, okay. I have a friend who has the same birthday.
Okay.
Weird.
Wow.
Next Sunday.
You're welcome.
Jolene, thank you. Jolene, Jolene, Jolene.
Oh, it is time to make some crazy money.
Time to make some crazy money. Here we go.
I love that you get the fat guy in like the Twins jersey and the baseball cap, and I realize like this guy is that guy is a perennial in American culture. Like, if human civilization should ever fall, there will be an entire tribe of guys in baseball jerseys and greasy Boston Red Sox hats. Like, and they
That
will
kind
somehow.
of guy is ephemeral yet eternal. It's horrifying.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
There will always be
Any given
that
person
guy.
only embodies him for a little while, but his spirit passes on to thousands more.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will state that I've always had this problem, and I pointed out to others that I am white guy racist, because if I see a guy wearing shorts and a hockey jersey and a beard, my immediate statement is, "Ooh, Kevin Smith's in town," which is almost never accurate, but it's a problem I have.
Jorts. Not just shorts, but jorts.
You,
Words.
like an enormous yoga hosers fan.
So it was a Red Sox
I think
hat.
there is something
Derek,
like very
baseball
important to
jersey.
note that Kevin Smith never actually smoked weed before he met Seth Rogen. And then he made
Incredible.
like 5 of the worst movies anybody has ever seen, back to back to back.
I mean,
This is also the
Weird.
period. This is also the period of time where like where Kevin Smith was like deep in the depression hole because of Jason Mewes, like unstoppable heroin addiction.
Oh yeah, that would do it.
Like
Let us all recall Jay and Silent Bob get old.
No, I have actually have managed to
That was a
excise.
podcast.
That was a podcast.
Yes,
That's
I believe
incredible.
in part it existed to like give Jason Mewes something to be accountable for.
Good for him. Good for him. I
Yeah,
hope Jason
yeah.
Mewes.
Yeah, like literally the first sentence on the format section of Wikipedia. The podcast is designed to keep Mewes sober.
Off.
I mean, if it accomplishes this goal, then it is by
Yeah,
definition
you know what?
good.
I respect that.
and it's also not
Yeah.
the only Kevin Smith project, to my knowledge, that had that as either a stated or secret goal. I believe that was as a sort of condition on Clerks the animated series, which of course only lasted 6 episodes. But I believe he's talked about before that it was kind of like, "Hey Jason, you get to be in a cartoon, you just have to stay sober for this," and then it got canceled immediately.
Yeah.
There was also just not Jason Mewes specifically, but Kevin Smith, I believe, had a similar incentive for one of the sequels to something for Ethan Suplee, like as far as getting healthier.
hmm
I'm not sure if that was the case, but Ethan Suplee is like running gyms now and stuff. I don't know.
Wow. He's
I
also
gotta double
With the
check my fact.
Tuscany.
last thing I was aware of Ethan Suplee doing was My Name is Earl, which is a while ago now. But he seemed like he was in pretty good
He
shape
was
for
fun in
that. Yeah, it's a good show.
Oh man. Yeah, Jason Mewes first began using heroin shortly after appearing in Mallrats. I sympathize.
That was also part of, I think, why Kevin Smith felt somewhat obligated to help him get sober.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, you have this man's blood on your hands. It's your fault.
Ooh.
I mean, good on him just not, like, dumping him 5 seconds after that, you know?
Yeah,
A lot of
no,
people would, so,
Yeah,
you know,
no,
I
I
respect
feel like that has happened a number of... Like, I've particularly... None of that are immediately coming to mind, but I know I've read books about, like, particularly in the 60s and 70s, there'd be these great movies by essentially comedy writer duos, and then you notice the next movie is just one guy, and there's a reason for that.
No, you see that all the time in like the 30s, and then like you're reading some obscure biography of like the fucking studio system. And it's like, yes, no, the partner he relied on all through vaudeville died in a tenement. He hung himself with a belt he stole from a hobo. It's like, wow. Don't worry. The other fellow went on to do went on to do whatever the Waffen SS version of PSO of the USO tours was during World War II.
Oh God, that's grim.
Now you just there's some things you don't want to read about, and like Hollywood before say 1970 is one of them. Oh man. Let's see.
Oh, so wait, we didn't actually get to saying for real what we're going to be marathoning after this.
Tell me.
Does anybody want to do like a drum roll effect?
Here I am, doing everything I can, holding on to what I am, pretending I'm Superman.
Yes.
Tony Hawk, baby!
Oh,
Yay!
Shit.
I want to play something where like at least half the games can actually be finished on a stream. I will be practicing.
Okay, I assume the girl who's dressed like a low-rent idol is going to be joining the party.
I mean, I don't know which one you're describing, but I'm going to say yes.
The one of like the gigantic, like, what is the term for like way more hair than could have come out of your head?
Yeah,
The redhead or the blonde one?
The redhead.
Yeah, the
blonde
one's
already in
part
the
of the
party.
family.
Yeah, you can tell her dad's over the hill. He's nearly 14.
Yeah.
But it's been years since anyone in our family has considered worthy of alm status.
But also, like, I look at, like, just, like, glancing between these three characters, one of them clearly has just a higher quality model. Yeah, the polygon count on her is just through the roof, and on the other, it's just nothing.
Honey, we know you were born with shading, but that doesn't mean that you're the only main character in our family.
Wow.
You don't want to ask about what happened to great uncle trilinear mip mapping.
Citizen Maps.
That's weird. That was the name of my uncle too.
Maybe you're related to this girl with Hell's own hair extensions.
And also, if you've been paying attention to
My
all the random
beloved
shouting,
Godfather Pong shading.
one thing I have to compliment the game for, her like problem is that due to an injury, she's only got one little dragon wing. Everyone else has two.
Mm-hmm.
And fun fact, that never actually holds her back in the game. Like I was expecting a fantasy handicap where like everybody else can do some flying thing and she can't or whatever. Nah, she's just, she's missing a wing and she's like, fuck you, I'm okay.
These wings are vestigial. Like,
they are, 100%.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was even expecting possibly like a Xenogears where, like, you got a character with one eye and there's the one thing in the universe that requires you to look at it with two eyes, and he's like, "Oh, well, fuck."
These characters are so.
Don't worry, there's a
over-animated.
second person.
Yeah, who only has one eye?
She doesn't have one eye, but for some reason they both work together on this anyway.
Besides, the wind is always blowing here.
Okay, not everyone is as over animated as she is, but like
Jolene.
she gesticulates like a Hanna-Barbera character. It's fucking with me.
And I can't now. I'm
Implying
fixating on the fact
Hanna-Barbera's
that-
character's animated.
Yeah, that's
So much
a
brighter.
bit of a
Like the
reach.
Don Bluth character.
Don
There
Bluth
you go.
characters. Sorry, yeah, Don Bluth. Don Bluth. You're right. Hanna-Barbera characters were static, almost. They were static, immobile, even.
Barely animated. Only to the smallest legal degree.
Yeah, like they were like you watch any given episode of Scooby Doo, and like you will find like maybe 3 or 4 moments that are like, they clearly had a little bit of money in the budget, and that's what they did there.
They
And
put
then
it all
everything else
into-
is just completely still people.
They put it all into rendering Don Knotts with medical grade illustration.
Other
Why
than
does
that,
she have
animate like a
pom-poms on?
visual novel.
Good luck.
Why does she have pom poms on her hands?
That's what
Why
I was going to
wouldn't she
say.
not?
I'm now that I'm not really paying attention to what she's saying, all I can fixate on is she's got 2 rings that appear to be cotton puffs.
Yep.
And okay,
Why? I'm
Yeah,
also
but-
really bothered by the apron thing going on, but that's different problem.
No, this is like this is some wild like.
I have like been swapping between like actually watching the stream and not watching the stream, and I've seen her do that little canned stomp, I'm mad animation like 6 times. What the fuck?
I mean that's her character, so
Yeah,
I
no,
mean-
she exists to be the bratty little sister character.
Sorry.
though again, who inexplicably sounds like Dolly Parton.
Hey, just to let's let everyone know, not to jinx it, but I have a job again.
Oh
hey.
shit!
Oh yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
What happened?
Congratulations.
White collar recession got me,
Are here for the wind dying?
As happens.
as happens. And then when I got out there, I was one of my advisors was like, hey, this is probably gonna take 6 months for you to get a full time thing going, and it's like almost exactly 6 months later. Fuck.
I mean,
Okay.
hey, if you're
Right on
back
the
to
money.
back.
Looked up how it
Num-
works that way.
Yeah, you know what? It's over. We're back.
Yeah.
She's not a what? She's a
And honestly, you made it better than I did. I was stuck in limbo for at least 10 months.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm grateful for it. It's just funny because everyone wants to be the exception, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah, we
wants
all
to be
think.
the one that drags down the average, but some people end up being the tragic souls that drag up the average.
Exactly. Someone's got to be the
And it
straight.
really isn't down to anything you did wrong. It's just sometimes that's how things go.
Yep.
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 I
No,
mean, it's something our
you know,
generation is very familiar with.
yeah, that's it.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
No, it was a funny thing is, I went through and looked, did the postmortem on it, and it's like it's funny because doing all the normal job applications like gave me discipline and structure and gave me a decent sense of like how to tell my story and all that. But the stuff that actually got me, like opportunities, was literally just knowing somebody.
Shocking.
It does a lot to grease the wheels.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's like, fuck it. I'm not gonna pretend that. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not qualified for the job, but I'm also not gonna pretend that knowing
But
the
that
guy.
was the sole reason that you got the job.
Yeah, exactly. I'm qualified to do a lot of shit, but I'm not doing any of it right now because, well,
Even a novice could do this better than you.
Did like Fireboy's like armor become way more detailed? Because like
I think it's because
he-
they change jobs.
he went from like wearing clothing that looked like clothing to a character in Berserk that gets decapitated in 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, that was you chose fire job, so that's his fire armor. Which yes is completely different clothing, and in a moment when Karina here joins the party, we'll be able to pick out her outfit too.
That's
I don't want to
that's
get
her
a
name.
fire job.
Karina,
Karina.
and the white or the blonde is Hina.
As the best dyer in the Vale, I have now officially
The color choices on the guy are so weird.
really done. Write that in your
Which one? The yellow one?
I mean,
What?
The guy like wearing the giant poofy yellow pants with the very blonde hair.
Right.
Yeah, it's like like the value of like his hair and his skin tone just feel really similar, and it's like it feels weird.
It is kind of strange.
I mean, I can say that blonde guy is going to basically stop existing after this season.
Oh yeah, no, he absolutely has a very bad case of non-playable character face.
See, now that the fairy is going to choose who gets to be the wind sacrifice, now that Karina has performed the dance of laundry or whatever.
The laundry dance.
And
the fairy is like, you there, you get to die.
that is what the fairy does.
So, like, is the fairy working for, like, I'm just going to assume a spacefaring civilization that found out that, like, it's much easier to keep their ship running if they just feed a bunch of people into the gears every year?
You have incorrectly guessed the secret.
Was it an episode of Stargate?
Probably.
It's probably an episode of like 5 different sci-fi shows. There's always the planet where they sacrifice people because we read the lottery once.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was about to say. I also read The Lottery.
There's also the episode of Sliders that is just straight up the lottery.
Definitely Sliders.
That episode of Sliders is not even subtle.
How the Cro-Mags were involved.
I'm just thinking of the Squidbillies episode where they win the lottery. The book, The Lottery, and then like the next like 2 minutes is Dan Halen reading the lottery to them because none of them know what it is.
Oh gosh, that's a good bit. I like that.
That bit was also on the Simpsons where there's lottery fever goes through Springfield, and they're like, sales of Shirley Jackson's The Lottery are up, and then people reading it and throwing it on the ground.
That's a good gag.
The tale of conformity gone mad.
Oh yeah, I wanted to briefly talk about my job because my job has gotten significantly weirder.
Oh, that's good.
Weird?
I have gone from being someone who is like, you'll be very important when X thing happens. Then X thing happened. Now I'm important and I don't like it.
Can you get a little plaque that says that?
I mean, I get a different title soon, but...
Oh, sick. What are we going to call you now? They haven't figured out the title yet.
Yeah, they haven't, like, it's down to, like, who I'm getting transferred to as my new manager.
They call
like,
you sir.
My current manager was literally like, I would change your title, but like your new manager might want like a specific one, so I'm just gonna leave that to him.
I hate to have you change your business cards twice in a week.
It's like I crave I crave only the most bespoke of titles. It's like I'm not prepared for it.
Can I be vice something?
No.
We have a big important meeting tomorrow about the future of our employment.
Ooh. That sounds ominous.
Bad news, gang. In this moment, I am doing better than all of you on the stream right now. Because I just got a slice of key lime pie.
Oh, okay.
And it's good.
That's a lot better than I was thinking. Is this where we learned that Beat has been butt chugging on these streams for like years now?
Never felt like that feels like it should be effective.
and yet here we are. I'll tell you what though, I am not about to break edge and to find out.
Break edge.
I don't know exactly what is meant by butt chugging. I mean, I could assume, but I don't know how to apply
I've never looked up a definition. The phrase I have
but it sounds
I'm
like
beer up my ass.
Yeah, it sounds like that. And you know what? Like, I just can't see that
like
working.
You'd probably absorb some of the alcohol, but it would probably also be like the worst experience of your life.
Okay, I know for a fact that
I'm not happy with wherever the sentence is going.
Well, not a fact, rather. I know for a fiction that like. It was in one of those Tim Dorsey books as a way to creatively murder somebody.
Oh man.
Tim Dorsey is. His books have this incredible momentum. I like it a lot.
Sorry.
I would say in some ways he is trying too hard to be Dave Barry, but Dave Barry didn't write a ton of fiction books, so we'll take what we can get.
Someone has to pick up that slack.
Someone's got to try. Someone has to put the effort in.
order to become the alm of wind. I guess this is goodbye.
So, for those of you who have been paying attention to mana games, you may have noticed that Ramco the mini dragon looks an awful lot like Flammy from previous mana games.
Why would you
because
think
it
I
is
remember
Flammy.
what Flammy looked like?
And just letting you
Even
know, if you think it might be Flammy, because,
You really?
that's exactly how every one of these games eventually goes, guess what?
Yes.
You win.
I'm just baffled that you'd think I remembered what a Flammy looked like.
When you said its name, I was just like, yes, of course, Flemmy. I'm going to pretend I know who that is to
You
not
all
break the
remember
fiction.
Flemmy?
Thanks for helping me find Rambo.
Flemmy Killmister.
Not done yet.
All right.
Yeah. From Bloaterhead.
Exactly.
It's not
Blow
pronounced
this guy
Flam?
Flamme.
Flammer.
Flambe?
Okay, so time to pick a
Flambe.
class for Karina here. Give me an
All
element.
right. She's from the Wind People, right?
She is from the Wind
course.
People.
So set her on fire.
No. Okay, fine. Then we're gonna have to choose something different for Val.
Of course.
She gets like a little Chinese dress now. And,
Nope, don't like it. Change it back.
But where
Give her a
did you
shovel.
get the goofballs
Turn her into
go?
Minecraft Steve.
you mean give her a shovel?
Yes.
All
What is
right.
Oh,
Slightly
Beat
better.
you into a shovel.
something else.
Maybe I'll play more FF10.
We'll
Oh yeah,
go
I need
with
to
her,
actually.
Val.
I think I'm saying this as a promise to myself. I'm gonna practice a few run-throughs of Tony Hawk 1 for next week.
Hell yeah.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
You're not
It's always
playing
a good idea
like
to be
Yeah,
prepared for these
yeah.
streams.
you're not playing like
I've
the
played
remake
through
or
Tony
anything,
Hawk
right?
1,
You've got
no,
like
I'm playing the original on. I have it loaded up in DuckStation.
oh fuck yeah, awesome.
Or like,
Quack, quack.
promise people you're gonna play Rock Band and then find out that your Xbox isn't playing discs right now.
Oh,
That's
no.
extremely
Like that.
rough. I am sorry.
Yeah, that sucks.
Have I told you all my Rock Band story?
No,
Please
I
do.
have not heard this.
Oh my god. So I hate Rock Band. I hate it with
Oh.
incredible fury because when Rock Band came out, I was I was involved with this social circle, this group of friends, and Rock Band has four. You get 4 slots for it, and this group
Yeah.
had a guy who played drums professionally.
There you go.
Someone who had been like first chair in his college choir for 4 years.
Okay.
There was the guy who owned the Xbox and the Rock Band setup, so he got to play guitar.
I was gonna say, so you ended up stuck with bass.
No, I didn't. His girlfriend played bass, and she was so legendarily stable, that anytime sometimes we would play board games and the dice roll would not go her way, and she would just flip the board over and storm out of the living room. And
You
that was
sarcastically
I-
said legendary is stable. I
I
thought
am
for a second
now-
there you were saying that she was great at keeping rhythm, but no.
I am now just fully remembering the Always Sunny scene where they nail down the Charlie McDennis board with the full understand, Max saying, "Oh no, it's important that we do that because I will forget that it's nailed down and I will try to flip the board."
Mm-hmm. And so it's just one of these things. Well, if she doesn't get her way, she's going to become violent, and then we'll all have to leave. So the Rock Band phase of knowing these people and hanging out with them was me sitting on a folding chair or sitting on the couch or whatever, waiting for them to get tired of playing Rock Band.
Yeah, that would do it.
Yep. Just 2.5 hours at a time, just sitting there. So we gotta get
rotate out.
food or
Rude.
something.
Much as a soul guard's duty
Like-
is to protect us.
No.
Karina,
Well, because like what would happen is someone would rotate out. It's like, okay, well, all right, I'm gonna rotate. I'm gonna replace the guy who plays drums professionally. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna queue up the perfect drug.
We all have our individual roles to play. Places
And it's just like, this is hellish.
of life.
I have played rock bands. Like, I owned Guitar Hero, obviously everyone did. And I just basically just played the Rancid songs again and again and again. So I got pretty good at Salvation. I've played rock bands, like, never bought Rock Band. I played it maybe 3 times at various Talcons, where I mostly just did the rap in the one Gorillaz song. And I gotta say, flawless party game. Like, if you got like it in a room sectioned off from everything else, so you're not annoying other people. That is a fun time to just hang out with a bunch of people. Play one song and I go do other stuff.
I played an ass ton of Rock Band, but I mostly was doing so because it was like, yes, I can sing these songs. I love singing. And it added more classic rock to my repertoire, and also other things, and that's why I remember all the lyrics to "Just Like Heaven" right now.
Nice.
I'm so jealous.
Show me how you do that trick, the one that makes me scream.
Okay, so Goggle Bob, I'm going to ask a question that I already know I'm going to regret, but I have to do it. The fairy that was like, guess what? You get murdered. Indicated that the kid wearing the yellow pants was to be murdered. Yes.
She indicated it initially as she was just kind of looking around, and he literally ran away.
Yeah, because he didn't want to die.
Basically,
Why is she wearing hooves that show off her toes? This game is disgusting.
Wearing what?
Why are you so
Now I need to see.
The dragon chick with one wing is wearing hooves that let her toes poke out. Like her shoes are shaped like hooves.
I think they're supposed to be like
they're like platform
those, like-
sandals.
No.
This game is disgusting.
yeah, like there are many choices that led to this, and all of them should have been avoided.
All of them. Every one of them.
But no, so the fairy pointed at the kid, said, fuck it, you're the guy to get murdered. Good job, congratulations. And he ran away. And the other girl was like, well, how could he not want to get murdered? I want to get murdered so bad. Did the fairy just turn and go, fuck it, you'll do whatever?
No, what it was is the fairy was literally just kind of doing a quick examination of everybody, and just at the idea of even being considered, he ran off. It's the theoretical, and this is also
It makes him the most sane person in the game so far.
Yeah.
I mean, it is eventually clarified that Karina was always going to be chosen. It's just, things went weird.
Daylight lit me into shade. Must have been asleep.
Now, do you want me to spoil what actually turns out to be going on in this game?
Yes.
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Imagine playing a Mana game for its plot.
No.
It's actually weirdly, I'm not going to say it's complicated, but it's convoluted, I would say.
That's not weird at all.
So, a
You're
number of
convoluted.
years ago, and by which I mean I think centuries, but they probably give you an exact time frame somewhere in there. But
Well, you got a double jump and 2 air dashes.
oh, you got infinite air dashes.
What? What?
You just kind of
Absolutely.
gradually
That is some
lose
air dashes.
height.
That's some Dragon Ball Budokai shit. That's some Dragon Ball Kakarot shit.
Man, I need to play
But,
more Dragon Ball Kakarot.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, so the story is that some hundreds or thousands or whatever years ago, there was the Benevolons, which are just big angry monsters, were raging. And the goddess of mana chose one dude to take the mana sword and go beat those guys' asses. And you do eventually beat this guy. He's just Sephiroth. He's just Sephiroth, period. There's very little
A
difference
recipe for
between-
success.
Yeah, he's Sephiroth. So
We need more Sephiroth.
the mana goddess chooses Sephiroth, and surprise, it goes poorly because apparently
I can't believe it.
while
Shit.
Sephiroth is off killing things, his girlfriend dies, so he comes back and like, Mana Goddess, you had like one fucking job and you let my girlfriend
I'll cry
die.
when I'm done killing.
So Sephiroth is so goddamn pissed off at everything that he gets sealed in a rock, and apparently just the sheer malice of him in the rock leaks out and threatens to destroy the world. So every 4 years, like 8 people have to die, so that way the rock stays sealed. And this has been going on for like 100 years or whatever. And
So he can't cook while he's sealed?
what was that?
Sorry.
No, I just didn't hear you.
So he can't cook while he's sealed?
Yes, obviously. But
Regular Wednesday night activities.
so obviously during your adventure, the rock gets unsealed, and then it is time to beat up Sephiroth. And also all the Benevodons that he had to fight, and just every
Okay.
goddamn thing in the world.
But like, you're just a guy, right? Well, a guy, a girl, and
Two
the
guys,
thing.
a girl, and a flammy.
That is accurate.
Yeah, right? So, like, I know that, like, you're the one who, like, you probably have, like, a sword you bought in a store, and, like, you're running around killing things to level up, right?
Yeah.
But, like, the fact that, like, you're gonna kill Sephiroth implies to me that anybody who ran around and killed a bunch of things and leveled up could kill Sephiroth. Meaning that we didn't need to do a millennia of sacrificing people to Sephiroth.
Look, I will
could've
assure
just shot
you
him.
that this is a mana game, so there is a lot of emphasis put on the like believing in yourself, and you're the only person who believed in yourself for the
That's
first time.
true, and I also feel like I need to point out this is a mana game, and no one in any of these games has ever indicated that they are not, in fact, dumb as a rock.
Oh, you want to hear dumb as a rock? You want to hear the other big spoiler for this game?
I'm just gonna take a wild swing. Because Fanboy's busy singing again, and I'm just gonna like create my own version of it. It's Lex Luthor. He came down from the DC universe, and tried to like sell mana vacations. It didn't
It's
work.
actually the narcissist Lex Luger,
Oh, of course. my
Oh, now
bad.
we're talking.
beloved
Now we're talking.
WWF and WBF body star.
Can you imagine getting tricked by Lex Luger?
Lex Luger, the narcissist.
Like I said, he spent some time as a WBF body star.
He did. And then he body slammed Yokozuna, and I believe, as someone described it, even his shit was red, white, and blue after that.
I'm remembering that fucking like
Okay, Gogumam,
Stone
tell me the
Cold
other
thing where
twist.
where he's yelling about like having to wrestle Yokozuna and screaming about shitting his pants.
Okay, the other thing that happens at about... So, before Sephiroth is revealed, there is this other untrustworthy dude who is clearly trying to get the Mana Sword for his own purposes. And just everything about this guy like, he's kind of friendly to the party, but everything about him screams like stranger danger. Like, something is up with this dude.
I'll be right back.
He literally tricks the main character into sacrificing the blonde there, Hina. Like, the main character's entire job is to protect her, and he manages to get tricked into sacrificing her. And to be clear, whereas it is kind of like a magical sacrifice, it is not at any point undone. He just straight up kills his girlfriend.
Wow.
Good
Well, like
job,
with an axe.
hero. So that's the thing that happens. Spoiler.
People die when they're killed.
That's also why if you'll notice that
Period, got it.
we just picked up a new character, and she's a playable character, and of course the hero is a playable character. But for some reason, the blonde, right from the beginning, is never a playable character. I wonder why that is.
That seems. Oh,
Could it be?
she's gonna die.
That's exactly what's
Believe
gonna
it
happen.
or not, it's just me.
But you even get to play as the little flying dragon, too?
Technically, yeah, they kind of become your airship.
Interesting.
in both this and Trials of Mana, they make a big deal about the fact that you are dealing with a female dragon. She gets insulted if you misgender her.
How do you think she
I mean, as she
most
should,
people
but like,
do.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
Believe it.
well,
but
that's
like
the thing.
it's
Is
a
she is
dragon.
a people.
Just like the light of a new
What? You think dragons don't
I
have gender?
can't believe
I mean,
it
dragons have more
myself.
genders than you can possibly imagine.
Suddenly I'm sitting on top of the world. Should have been somebody else.
Big
Believe
dragons
it or
have
not,
like
I'm
genders that you or I
man.
cannot comprehend.
Thought I feel so free.
They got genders like based on the phases of the moon and stuff.
On a wing and a
That
prayer.
Really?
Who could it be?
You're talking about Faces of the Moon, but that's like gonna straight up be a
Leave it
plot
on
point like in the next.
No,
movie.
I'm serious. Like you have to. They have different pronouns for if it's waning crescent or waxing gibbous.
Don't make up moon phases.
I didn't.
No, I believe you did. And
No,
I'm
I
right.
didn't.
I'm right.
I'm right. I'm correct.
I'm Mr. Good and Right. Mr. Good and Right boy.
Not
I'm
he.
Mr.
Waxing
Goodbar.
gibbous. Read it and reap.
We didn't rape.
Oh yeah, I'm drunk.
We.
Don't say.
You're drunk from butt chugging key lime pie.
I was
No.
about to say the key
I
lime
should
pie
hope
did
not.
it.
I should very much hope not.
Weirdest guy ever.
So there's a special guest coming up for those of you that enjoy mana games. You
So
know.
are you saying this was the best one out of the lot?
Yeah, this one's definitely the best.
Yeah,
But I'm saying there's a
even
special
I,
guest.
even I could say that.
Like, this is a game that if you saw someone playing it, your first response wouldn't be, why the fuck are you playing this?
What
Okay.
happened here?
I'm just making sure that I'm following accurately.
Yeah, like, this looks like a solid 7 or 8.
You guys definitely have not been bitching about it nearly as much as you have with the previous ones, so
It's
Yeah,
at
the other-
least
the
fun
other
to look
games
at
were-
sometimes.
The other games were insults to life itself.
Yeah. This one is just a 7 out of 10 video game.
I mean, it's pulling, it's playing the hits. It's bringing to mind the Bubba Sparks classic Ms. New Booty.
I found you
Of course.
this new booty.
Oh,
Well,
I started watching Berserk.
I was
Now
wondering
we're
where
done.
that sudden Berserk reference came from.
I started watching it yesterday because, and I'm not making this up, somebody put the entire 1997 series on YouTube as a single video, and somehow it has not been taken down.
It's the Yasuhiro Imagawa adaptation. That's pretty
No,
good.
it's really good, but like
That's solid TV.
I just turned on the TV to put on something while I was doing something on my computer, and just
Yeah.
switched it over to YouTube, and like the number one first thing that shows up and immediately starts auto playing with audio is Berserk, the entire thing. In my recommendations, and I'm just sort of staring at it going, wow, this is almost as weird as the time somebody uploaded all of Avengers Endgame and it was just up for a month and nobody stopped it. And it was
The
just
only
in
way
my
someone should watch it.
recommendations. Hey, you want to watch Avengers Endgame? And I was like, I mean, sure, I guess. Why not?
I'm always
Not paying
tickled
for it.
I'm always tickled that Imagawa was the head writer for that adaptation, just by virtue of the fact that when I think of Imagawa, I think of him making lavish, extremely strange adaptations of old mecha shows, and I always forget he did other things too.
like
Yeah.
1997's Berserk, one of the
Yeah, exactly.
one of the best
but yeah.
TV one of the best TV adaptations I think I've ever seen in a.
And the only good adaptation of Berserk, perhaps.
I like to think that there is some sort of some sort of divine sanction upon anyone trying to do a Berserk adaptation after the TV show.
But after this, Beat can play beloved Dreamcast game Sword of the Berserk Guts' Rage.
Oh yes.
Sure, why not?
No,
One of my favorite games acknowledging how impractical its own mechanics are is that's an action game where Guts' sword has collision detection with walls.
I can't thank you enough.
You can probably guess how much of a problem that is.
But I mean, I kind of appreciate them just going, "Hey, yeah, it would actually suck to have that sword in a hallway."
I'm not done. I am not done.
Okay,
you have a super mode, like a Devil Trigger style super mode, and one of the key bonuses it gives you is your sword goes through walls now.
Mm-hmm. Yay!
That is, and true to Devil Trigger, it does not heal you, nor does it render you immune to damage.
It just makes it so that your sword is usable.
That's kind of amazing.
You have consumables, consumable attacks, because Guts has his bombs and his knives and his arrows,
his crossbow.
Yep, he's got his crossbow. He's got his cannon. But like you've got like 3 shots for each of them. And I played that game for longer than I care to admit. I've never seen a reload in that game. It is. There's no ludonarrative dissonance here, sir. The point of the game is that being Guts is shit.
On the bright side, you do get to listen to Cam Clark at being as irritating as possible as Puck.
Oh god, yeah.
There you go. I feel like there's something to be said about like adaptations of anime that are just like, no, fuck you. We care about the canon. We don't care about
respect
gameplay.
The canon.
Fuck you. The canon is king. Like there's that One Punch Man fighting game where
One Punch Man wants justice or no wait no Hero Nobody Knows.
Hero No One Knows. I want to say I forget.
Yeah, Hero No One Knows the one where like you it's a
3-on-3 game. I think.
Yeah, it's a 3-on-3.
Yeah.
And if Saitama is one of your members, he just doesn't show up. And if you're doing well, he'll run a little faster, so he'll show up eventually. And when he does show up, he takes 0 damage from every attack and does 100 damage with every attack.
You only get to use him if you can survive that 2-on-3 situation long enough for him to arrive. If you KO before he arrives, you don't get to use him.
Yeah, but when he does arrive, you've already won.
It's very much got the pacing of a fucking god. What is that fucking WCW match that people are obsessed with?
World War III.
No, not World War III. That's I thought of that too, and that's the one that's like 9. That's like 3. Fucking.
No, is it War Games?
War Games. It's got the cadence of a War Games match.
Yeah, War Games is the one that people actually like.
Yeah, World War III is the one that's like, this was the stupidest idea anyone's ever had, along with like 5 other different match types that they did. War Games was the kind people like.
You know, it never quite reaches the height of the Viagra on a pole match, but here we are.
How do you feel about about Buff Bagwell's mom on a pole match?
I feel nothing. I've lost so much, fanboy.
You ever think about how long that Vince Russo was employed by TNA and they kept coming up with more deranged on a pole matches, but not on a pole, but the same concept? So it's like, the Feast or Famine match, a match where there's like 4 things on poles, but one of them is if you open it, it says you're fired.
Beautiful. No, someone asked me, is like, hey, how do you feel? How do you feel about this job offer? I just told them, like, I don't feel anything anymore.
Nothing means anything anymore.
My breath is fogging up.
It's like a reverse ladder match or something at one point.
Oh Lord! They have to get down. They have to get down the ladder.
Game ever attack?
No, they had to hang the belt on. They had to hang the belt by the King of the Mountain match.
Oh Jesus! You know that's like a Money in the Bank match where the idea is that you have an empty suitcase and you have to run around and fill it with dollars that you find.
Oh my god, the King of the Mountain match is deranged, completely insane. Per Wikipedia, the 5 competitors of the match start out as ineligible to win. In order to become eligible, a wrestler must score a pinfall or submission on an opponent. The opponent who submits or is pinned is forced to spend 2 minutes in the penalty box cage. More than one wrestler can be in the cage. This often results in wrestlers fighting inside the cage or forming some sort of alliance. Once eligible...
This is a match that a board game designer would come up with.
Once eligible, the wrestler may win the match by retrieving the match's prize, usually a championship belt, and hanging it on the hook suspended above the ring with the aid of ladders stationed outside the ring. Like, guaranteeing that whatever the match's finish is, it looks stupid as shit, because it's someone trying to fucking hang, like, something on a hook.
Wow.
To answer Kathos's question that was asked in the middle of that, we are currently playing technically a New Game Plus, so we are a little bit advanced.
Explains why you're just obliterating everything in one hit.
So that way we could like utilize the various extra jobs and abilities and whatever, since we're obviously
we could
not
get the
gonna
most
40
visual
hours
interest
into
out of the game.
in one night. Now there are these ancient ruins around where there are like high level monsters, but we're even like
Ancient Roman Power of Darkside?
20 levels above them. But here's something that is approaching like a closer to an actual fight.
I'm sorry, the only way I can shitpost is by referencing games no one's played.
Everybody has their quirk.
I need to get a second one, a better one.
Yep.
I
don't know, I could be really into unicycles? That'd be pretty bad.
You get like a mustache, but not like a normal mustache.
Yeah, no.
Oh, like some sort of horrible handlebar thing?
Yeah, you got to get a handlebar mustache, and your new hobby needs to be manga music videos. You got to make those graphic.
Like, not even the dignity of an AMV in MMV.
Yeah, an MMV. You got to do nothing but manga music
Look,
videos.
if it's an AMV, then all you can do is that one In the End song that apparently has an AMV for everything. So.
You tried so hard and got so far.
Be glad you got the manga. You have a little bit more options available.
I feel like that is terribly dismissive of the things you can do with mindless self-indulgence in that field.
No.
Crows, I forgot
Someone
you
had
were
to
here
bring
until
it.
that plaintive statement.
No.
like 4 or 5 years ago, there's this entire about 5 years ago, there's this surge of manga music videos where people would do like these really sick edits on what were effectively stationary drawings.
Yes.
And the problem is that watching them, like, you just get this sense like, oh yeah, no, this is the kind of this is the kind of visual input that causes psychosis if you just take in too much of it. Like part of that is that I discovered this like at the height of COVID lockdown in like 2020, at a point where I was drunk maybe 17 hours a day, and I just looked at this like, no, this is something that will destroy what little remains of my of my like higher brain function. But still, I think the aesthetic is completely sick.
You think that is bad? I was directly in the middle of it during 2020.
Oh yeah, you were in that shit.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
It is a miracle you grew up as well adjusted as you did, Chromes. But that's true for everyone here.
So you think I'm well adjusted?
I mean, comparatively.
I mean, there's some sick shit here. You know, it's like, damn, like this is a bizarrely gormlessly horny, but at the same time, like there's a real design like sense behind it. You know,
there's an effort.
There's effort here. Yeah, I just wish it wasn't like, I absolutely know that whoever made this is someone who is not themselves Indian, but has strong opinions about various Indian castes.
God.
Very normal opinions.
Just absolutely normal opinions about
happening here.
I heard the words mindless self-indulgence and immediately started having flashbacks.
I apologize. I always forget that, like, the guy in that band turned out to be evil.
Wait, there was a band named Mindless Self-Indulgence?
Yeah.
An electro punk
Maybe
band.
you're my
Remember that
age.
statement.
How are you not? How are you not aware of mindless self-indulgence?
Dude, I was listening in '97. I was listening to basically nothing except industrial and '70s punk.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
honestly, same. But like, come on.
I didn't know there was a band called that.
You guys are killing me here.
I was for a rock and I
Killing
knew
me
it.
smalls.
Like how am I the only one that knows about it?
I'm sure
You
family.
got to
knows
remember
about
this was an era when it cost like 20 like Clinton dollars to buy a CD. You know,
That is true, but like immediately after that era is when it suddenly costs nothing to play every CD ever.
yeah, but
Napster.
It's true.
that's when I got really into indie rock, though. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
true.
You know, I was, you know, because Napster was incredible because you could, you know, there was nothing holding you back, right? You just, but at the same time, it was you could just find the weirdest shit, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Dial-up internet, and also the fact that like people mislabeled things for sport.
well, I was on that dorm room LAN shit, so. Like I was
It turns out the Napster taught us that as long as a song is meant to be a joke, you can just say Weird Al wrote it, and no amount of extreme racism or homophobia will stop you.
Yeah, exactly.
And never mind the Weird Al thing. I mean, like when freaking Rickroll started to get popular, I was like, I've been there, guys, because it was like I'm just trying to download the latest single, and for some reason, once again, it is Blue Dabu Dee Dabu Die. You
I didn't have many experiences like that, but I did like once back in the days when we all some people on this call will have like vivid flashbacks when I say this. When Homestuck was at the height of its power, I downloaded a torrent that was claiming to be all of the Homestuck albums because people were telling me they're really good, and I was like, I'm not sure I believe that, but I will try. And 3 of them, I was like, this is just like ambient video game music. This is not something I would actively listen to. One of them, though, was a troll. One of them was like, when I say troll album, I do not mean in the Homestuck sense. I mean in a pure, dedicated sense. Half of the songs were Dr. Dick.
Oh yeah.
And one of them was, but there'd be like effort put into this. They all had like, you know, the opening bars of some other song, and then would just go straight to Dr. Dick.
like Chuck Mangione and good old fashioned.
One of them though was a dramatic reading, and when I say dramatic reading, I mean this guy was acting harder than any man has ever acted. Of a guy reading one of those gangster computer god rants.
Nice.
That's a cat. That's not a cat girl. That's just a cat.
That is not only a
Sometimes
cat,
you need a
but
cat.
for whatever reason, kind of like how they chose Dolly Parton to be our dragon girl. This is Antonio Banderas, the cat. Like they went like. Remember
Well, there was
that
already
time
an
he played
Antonio
Zorro?
Banderas. The
Yeah,
cat.
like that's
this is Zorro cat.
it's quite famous.
So yeah,
He somehow outlasted the Shrek franchise.
Yeah.
yeah. No, this is Puss in Boots. This is and he's supposed to be the last like remaining person from this like civilization that we're gonna go over here. But you meet some other guys. Nobody has his accent. Like,
Don't worry about it.
he just decided to start talking like this, and it, like, okay.
I'm sorry you don't like cool people, Goggle Bob. God, what's your problem?
God, Help Me Dr. Dick video is just
I love
so
it.
good.
Classic.
Please help me.
Yeah, I remember there was a
Listen
period.
to the soundtrack.
Dr. Dick.
Okay,
AV, I listened to Fred Come to Bed, Fritz Loves My Tits, and Max Don't Have Sex with Your Ex.
Yes.
That is an epic cycle in
It
songs.
is an epic cycle, yes.
That is an epic cycle.
Oh, Max, don't have sex with your ex. They will
They'll
make
make
your
your life
life
complex. But like,
I'll tell you, I got a friend,
like one of
I got
the
a friend
songs
that keeps having
effectively
sex with his ex.
references.
It does make his life complex.
Oh no!
Yeah. Because Max had sex with his sexy ex.
That's right.
They
No,
told
no,
you
but-
not to, but he did. The
No,
fool. The idiot.
the thing
I
that
love
gets
that
me
the
is though.
first like fucking verse of fucking like I love that Max seems most concerned with the idea that you call him Max.
I'm Max, baby, Max, baby. Call me Max. I'm in love with you,
Just
and I love my
notch.
ex.
I'm Max. Max, call me Max. I'm thinking what I'm given. I'm given what it takes. Max, Max, Max.
I love it's like, no, we just talk. We don't have sex. But then he's like immediately like, she wants me to not have sex with my ex. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I just don't know.
I
how
have
to
not
deal with
decided.
this. You have asked me to have the barest level of impulse control that God gave a 5-year-old, and I don't think I can do it.
Yeah. Well, we were all
Like
24 once.
just constantly
Not
running
me.
directly in.
Well, not you.
You will be. And
You'll get there.
You'll look back on these streams and you'll feel a similar level of regret.
The day will come when you look back on this and you'll say, I was young once and I did this.
I don't care if China buys YouTube. I'm keeping these up for you, Chromes, for the next 20 years.
Yeah.
After that, no. Doggo Bob will be in his 60s at that point.
Yes. Gogglebob will be in his 60s, and I assume that through misadventure, Deptford will be the owner of all this IP.
He made a brief appearance on one. It would be foreshadowed.
He did. He showed up. He was. I think it was hilarious because he was just so completely like and obviously unimpressed by the by our nonsense here.
But still unfailingly pleasant as Deptford is.
Yeah.
Max, don't have
This is the newest one, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Vision.
He was like, "Excuse me, I have to go draw the world's most obese women now,
And get paid well for it.
and be paid well for it." You know what? I will never look down on anyone who is paid for giving the people what they want.
Is that a side gig for him, or did he?
I think that was his main gig for a very long time, at least.
It's definitely
Yeah.
something he does. Like, I've never known if it's on the side, but yes, it's definitely something he does.
Like,
Yeah, so-
and I have a lot of respect for that. Like, speaking as someone who, I mean, no shade here. Deptford's sense of humor has never clicked with me. Like, I think there was a period of time where like he was just posting all these comics to Talking Time, and I'd just read it, and I'd be like, man, these are sure drawings and words. I can't parse what's happening here. But like, you know, clearly he's a guy who knows his audience, and he's willing to give them what they want. You know.
I will
recall
state
one
that I have never seen a Deptford comic that I didn't enjoy. So, like, definitely different ends of the spectrum for both of us.
Contains multitudes.
Yes, and
I recall once
Go ahead.
I was just
gonna make a joke. I was just gonna joke about him using the word spectrum to describe this. But go ahead.
I recall once purchasing video games from him in a thread, and he was very apologetic that it took him a while to send them out. And his solution for this, aside from having drawn cover art for the ones that didn't have cases, was to send along with them just some random free things that he was just like, I have this and I don't need it, so you can have it now. So it's like, that's why I own Sigma Star Saga on the Game Boy Advance and Galarian's Ash on the PlayStation 2.
Oh my god. I don't
Sigma
know.
Star Saga was mildly interesting, if not amazing. Galarian's Ash sucks, but in ways that are funny.
There we go. That's what I call a win-win. That's what I call a win-win.
When did you reach the tundra biome?
After we beat the Mantis Ant?
Oh, I was not paying attention.
Fair.
Beat. Did you enjoy the portion of Fritz Love My Tits where Max swears like eternal bloody vengeance on Fritz?
I did. I especially liked that, like, the reason that Fritz was there to love those tits is because Max had sex with a sexy ex.
There's beauty in this, you know.
It all
This
comes
is
together.
This is like
Max does not have the moral rights to swear bloody vengeance on Fritz.
That's it. Max is acting.
Max is not operating on a moral code. Max is just operating on pure instinct.
That's true. Max is not a he's not a moral being. He's driven by his appetites.
Yeah.
He no longer possesses a rational soul.
No,
he will not go to hell, but he will be destroyed.
He will be
I think
annihilated.
Max will go to hell when he dies, but
that's a good point. No,
Max will go to hell, but Max is not. Max has a rational soul, but he's ignoring it. He's just pure instinct at this point.
This is the true argument here. Does he have a rational soul that he's ignoring, or was he simply one of nature's mistakes, born without one? Can he grow one?
I think you see. Here's the thing. I think even if Max were born without a rational soul, I believe he could develop one.
Yeah, like a soul can be earned.
Yeah, I feel like Max
can Max earn one.
I feel like Max can seek forgiveness and recognize the weight of his actions. I don't think he will.
Well, let's see.
It's a hard life to lead. It's a hard road to walk.
It's true. I'm sitting here. He says, "I'm thinking what I'm given. I'm given what it takes." And I think, given what it takes is what it takes is getting that is winning that soul, becoming a real boy. Yeah. You love having fun, love having sex. I'm Max. I'm in love with you, and I love my ex. I don't want to make you feel so blue. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like he's flirting. He's flirting with things like empathy. He's understanding that his actions have what is the word here? His actions have consequences. I think he is flirting with moral awakening here. So
he does moral awakening.
He does by saying, with the level of energy he says Max, he does sort of talk like a Pokemon teaching itself to speak.
that is true. I feel like Max is a great example of a guy who can see all the consequences of his actions just laid out before him. They are very obvious. They are all real. He knows what will happen if he does this. And then he does it anyway.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. This raises disturbing questions about the eternal fate of Mr. Tito Ortiz, the closest living thing we have to a Pokemon. Tito.
I feel like Tito does possess a rational soul.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's very bright.
Yeah. One can be capable of good and evil while still being spectacularly stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, I will always Tito will always have the funniest case of someone doing a vanity political run, which is to say, getting elected and deciding 3 weeks later this sucks and leaving.
Honestly, it would be so cool if every politician that sucked just said, "This is boring. I don't want to do this anymore," and just didn't. That would be such an improvement.
It was one of the Something Awful guys did a bit where he was imagining Tito Ortiz giving testimony in court, and it begins with him calling the judge Your Majesty.
He'd do that. He absolutely would.
He would absolutely do that.
It would be the greatest moment any of us has ever seen.
Your Majesty. And then at the end of his speech, that judge would just sit there and be like, this brings me no pleasure, but I must still condemn these children to be raised by Tito Ortiz. This town is full of furries.
Well, I mean, you don't
we
just have
just
one
met
cat.
a cat.
Yes, but one furry is one furry is an eccentric. A colony of furries. Well,
I think this is just the species.
I mean, we did Dragon Town, then we got Cat Town, and again, the scariest one that I find is the fact that we will eventually get to Squirrel Town.
why are the cats all the cats are all steampunkers? the dragons the dragons were into Lolita fashion. The cats are into steampunk. So what are the squirrels' crime against humanity?
I really hope
They're just goddamn
that they
squirrels.
I really hope that they just love chewing through electrical wires.
Oh yeah.
And I really hope that means that they are the electricity elements tab.
They fuck up the value of your roof is what they do. I goddamn hate them so much.
Oh my god.
No, the Squirrel Town is basically they are like sort of the merchant / high class of this world.
Ah.
Which is a weird thing to make your squirrels.
Yeah. Yep. Are they, shall we say, Gringotts coded?
Oh God.
They
Wow.
Okay, I hate to say it, but there is one that probably kind of is.
That's.
But I don't think
I don't like that.
But it's only in the greed level. I don't think they give him a nose, but I think we'll get to him on the stream. So.
Oh Lord, why you gotta do this to me?
I mean,
There we go.
if you have a merchant class in a story, inevitably you have the greedy jerk, which doesn't have to be associated with an ethnicity, but some people do that.
Okay, counterpoints. In Breath of the Wild, there was one civilization that was, I would say, the most dedicated towards like trade and the accumulation of wealth, and it was the Grudo. And they were not Gringotts coded. They were just like, no, we're a very capitalist society.
There we go.
They were all like traveling across every Grudo you meet, traveling across the world is either looking for a husband because they're a female only race. It's sort of like what they have to do, or a merchant. They were just all about the paper.
So isn't Ganondorf a Gerudo? So he's like the only male Gerudo?
He
One
is.
male Gerudo every 100 years.
Yep.
So does he just like is he just like expected to just sling dick? Like what's his deal?
I mean, I
generally
think it's
the male born is the king of the Gerudo.
the male born is the king. I assume that like you could just go, oh yeah, no, he gets laid all the time. But
He actually.
But like in general, the games sort of imply that Gerudo seek non-Gerudo companions.
yeah.
So maybe him being born the only male Gerudo means that he is like destined to have no sex. So he's been driven insane. He's
Ganondorf,
like,
the enormous incel.
Yeah.
you know, it's like here lies Beavis. He never scored, kind of like level.
Maybe it's just Ganondorf sitting on a throne and like dispensing wisdom, and it turns out all he says is stuff like "women be shopping."
One of my favorite things about Beavis and Butthead is like the fact that the two are obsessed with the concept of scoring with absolutely no context for what that could possibly be.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, in all of Beavis and Butthead, and I know they made a joke about this in the new series. Was there ever a character that was presented as like a potential actual mate? Like this could be their girlfriend?
There's been at least one or two times where they referenced the idea of Beavis attracting someone.
Yeah, like Beavis. I remember seeing an episode. I think I actually watched it with Fanboy. It was where it was Beavis got like passed a note in class saying that
the
from
new
some girl that
episode,
was just
right?
like
Yeah,
it was a
this
new
was the
episode,
new
yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
And it was
that one I
just
remember.
basically this girl saying that she liked him and would like to like spend time with him, and Butthead fucks it up for Beavis by reading the note and just like
Somehow
totally going,
interpreting it as she's gonna kick your ass.
yeah, she's gonna kick your ass.
But I was just thinking of in regards to like a show like Ed, Ed and Eddie, where they're never going to have like a dating episode, but they clearly present like the Canker sisters as the female versions of them, so to speak, or like the female complement.
Yeah.
Like they're
The counterparts.
They never give you like in a manner of speaking, matching female Beavis and Butthead, right?
Okay, well, like like the Ed, Edd and Eddie is very much a show, and I've actually like looking back at my memories of it, I respect it for this. That is very much obsessed with the platonic ideal of being 10.
Being 10 in a seemingly endless summer.
Yeah, and it's like because that's how summer felt when you were 10.
Yeah,
it was beautiful, and that's important. I think like like something that captures that very specific moment in life.
There is like when they did Beavis and Butthead, like fucking Do the Universe or whatever, the more recent movie. They did have like a whole bunch of Beavis and Butthead like universes. I think at least one of those is like female Beavis and Butthead.
That's hilarious.
I do the some of the strongest ones are like Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead, who are still both complete fucking idiots.
Oh, yes, how droll.
All
right, I gotta ditch everybody. Have a good night.
Okay.
Have a great night. Good luck at your new job.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Still fully 1,000% capable of accidentally.
Gelscope, you're here.
Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead still capable of fucking like kidnapping Tom Anderson and then somehow putting themselves in the anal probe machine.
Oh no, I have forgotten why I'm here. Oh no, now I remember why I'm here.
God, I love Beavis and Butthead.
It's so good.
Yeah, no, I enjoy in the new episodes how they use Smart Beavis and Butthead to introduce the sort of parallel timelines. Like, it has to get, of course, Smart Beavis and Butthead would think that they have to explain something that, like, anybody familiar with fiction would already understand.
I love, like, it's baffling to me that Beavis and Butthead has come back twice and has actually just been good both times.
Only now I can't seem to find Hina or Karina.
Well, there was another one after the adults version?
No, what I mean, back in like 2011, there was just a random one-off season where they were like watching like fucking shitty MTV reality shows in between segments. And that's good too. But then there was the recent revival that has like 90 time displaced 90s Beavis and Butthead episodes and old Beavis and Butthead episodes.
I think
They're in the weird.
I think I truly understood Beavis and Butthead when I realized that Beavis had decency in his heart, but was also but lacked agency to say no to Butthead.
I love the
Butthead
new series
was actively ruining Beavis's life.
I love in the new series there's an episode where he like sees someone and thinks it's Butthead, and so like walks up to them and starts talking to them, and they just think he's like a friendly guy, and so like he spends like the entire day with them trying to find an excuse to leave so he can go find Butthead again. But he's like being too polite to just leave or to tell the guy off.
And the guy just keeps randomly finding an excuse for Beavis, like, oh man, you gotta come with me for this.
It's extremely funny. It's so good.
You know, weirdly enough, my favorite of the new episodes, it might be the first quote-unquote old Beavis and Butthead episode, but the one where Butthead, like, cannot take care of himself and Beavis accidentally gets the job of being, like,
he's
in-house nurse.
Even though they already live together, and just Butthead just immediately starts commanding Beavis, like, you're not going to get paid if you don't do this. And I'm pretty sure it leads to a beatdown at a supermarket.
Absolutely.
God. So that's like so much perfect encapsulation of both of their lives is like when they both imagine what their lives could be like if they had kids. And for Butthead, it's the kid's teacher comes to have sex with him.
And he's like he's extremely buff and has like a bazillion electric guitars.
Yeah, like, and for Beavis, the kids just like let him play with his Legos.
Hey Dad, you're cool.
I wish at least one of them has like a Beavis the Third, Beavis Junior, and Beavis.
Oh, it was Butthead has Butthead Junior, Butthead Threenior, and Butthead Fournier, but they're not named in the order they appear to be. Like their names do not match their ages; they match the order they appear in the fantasy, which is an incredible joke.
See how strong you've become, Morley?
I have your strength to thank for that, and the help of the moon.
It's a good show.
How did you get it to work anyway?
Also,
Just all
both of
rush
them
out and
respond
get
to the door
Paramount
being
Plus
knocked on with, "But what's this?"
But what's this?
This thing is actually an
I
We're gonna
just
kick your
realized the
ass.
cat has a monocle, and I
Yeah,
hate him
I
for
dressed
it.
the cat up in his best outfit.
Like,
I have represented myself as a skull with a top hat and monocle for easily 20 years now.
yeah,
I see this and I get mad.
I'm sorry. I need to make a reference that will most resonate with Beat. Beavis talking to his children about how cool Legos are gives me the same vibe as alternate Carl, so the dogs can worship with us.
I could hardly keep up.
I couldn't have done it without your constant help.
We had fun today.
This was fun. We had fun today. Fuck, man.
I have a gambling addiction, which is all-consuming.
I mean, like,
I
when it comes to,
like the single darkest Aqua Teen episode, it's hard to like pin that down.
That
to
one's
just one.
extremely premeditated.
But that one I think is still at the top of the ranking.
Extremely premeditated.
Yeah. Just Carl, like, seeing the better version of his life and going, nah, I can fix that. We'll take care of that.
But I've never seen anything like what's occurred today. I must.
I feel like your cat having coattails and like an actual tail is overkill.
I like that he has a little, like, they really did cool this design because he has a little bow at the top of his tail. Like, it's just like, well, of course, if you were a tailed human creature, you would somehow stylize the tail. Like,
Oh yeah, tail styling
Yes.
seems natural.
like obviously, it's like, oh, I'll put a little bow on that. That'll look cool.
Please be in the
Oh, that'll be cute. People know that I'm putting some effort into my appearance.
I feel like if you're ever like an icebreaker with somebody who you don't know that well, but you're like, you know, just trying to like have a little conversation, ask them about how humans would function with tails, because I have gotten bizarre answers to that I feel like reveal a lot about the person that you're talking
Sorry if we
to.
worried you.
Like
You two look safe.
one person who eventually became like a good friend of mine, like their immediate response was how if humans had tails, it would be like dogs, where you wouldn't be able to lie about your emotions. Like obviously, if you were happy, you wouldn't be able to hide it just because you'd be wagging. And then one person who I never expected to give this answer immediately started answering with how they would have different kind of piercings for their tails. This was a person who I know to this day does not have a single piercing, but if they had a tail, they would absolutely pierce it.
Okay then.
Just some people have
going
thoughts about
through
tails.
like the places you get piercings are the places where like there is an excess of skin and you can like, you know, pierce it without going through bone.
There doesn't need to be an
Tail's
echo.
not a good answer.
I'm getting bone
Like it
piercing.
needs to be like, you know,
That's what all the tails
like it has to be soft tissue, basically.
Bone piercing.
Belly button or something like that. Like
Bone piercing.
so like where would you even pierce a tail?
Well, that was the
Is it
thing. It was
the
like
tip?
a whole conversation about getting like
Yes.
definitely some people would get like studs at the end, like almost like a morning star, like a spiked ball at the end or something.
I mean that would be pretty sick.
This is my weapon of choice.
Yeah, there you go. But like definitely some people would get like a piercing, like maybe toward the top and like the middle, and like, you know, do like that whole lace thing you see sometimes. Like that was sort of the whole point of the conversation, was like there'd be options.
I mean, I
Wow.
guess.
It would depend on the individual makeup of your tail.
We're all
Are we
proposing,
talking Are we talking like a dog tail where it just wags back and forth and maybe helps with balance? I guess. Or are we talking like a monkey tail where it can do all sorts of stuff?
I mean, that's the thing. It's up to the reader.
All right. Well, if it
Who
were
could forget Dear Rat Boy?
if it were a monkey tail, I would probably just use it like as a third hand. Like
That
I
would
would.
be pretty sweet.
I would basically like while I'm working at work, I would have two hands on the keyboard and one on the mouse.
I was going to say a
would be
mouse
like,
tail
shit.
would be amazing for that purpose. Like just being like, like I can't even tell you what I would be able to get done if I had a tail that was able to work the mouse while I had my hands on the keyboard.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
much cutting and pasting.
No more jumping back and forth between the mouse and the numpad.
Yay.
That said, if it was like a dog tail that didn't really do anything, I probably would just wear my pants a little lower. That's about it.
And you gotta figure there'd be some people who would just like completely hide their tails. Like
coming for to carry.
the shape.
I mean, are we assuming like a world in which humans just evolve with tails, or like we a new subspecies of human?
I mean, I would assume world.
God damn it, I
we're
just
learning
realized I
so
fell
much.
for your fucking trap! I'm like thinking about this!
We're learning
I'm so mad at you!
We're learning so much, and all of it sucks shit.
Like I said, it's a great icebreaker at parties.
Yay.
I've known you for like 15 years, man! You don't need to break the ice!
I mean, I brought it up randomly. You were the one who fell for it.
Coming for to carry.
So angry. So fucking angry. Can't believe I fell for it. I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm done. I'm done talking to Gogglebum.
You lied in bed tonight asking your wife about having a tail now.
Just say, I don't care about you. It's Friday. I'm in love.
Cal Scrub, if you had a tail, would you help me strangle Gogglebum?
I think he'd do that without the tail.
That seems like entrapment.
I feel like you and I have been friends long enough that we would murder Gogglebum and actually get away with it.
Thursday doesn't even start. It's Friday. I'm in love.
Fanboy would try to dissuade me from killing Gogglebum, but once I'd killed Gogglebum, he'd be like, shit, we gotta hide this body.
Why is everyone always planning on murdering me on this stream?
You know why.
You subjected us to 8 weeks of mana!
Oh, that was way more than 8.
I believe this is week 12.
Oh god, that's so much worse.
Never looking back.
But we got a chat
Friday. I'm in love.
Monday, you can hold your head. Tuesday, Wednesday, stay in bed. Or Thursday, watch the walls instead. It's Friday. I'm in love.
It's only Tuesday.
Well, now you know what my plans are, don't you?
Oh, so
in
we've
love
got
on
these
Friday?
3
I
cat
mean,
tokens.
Good job. Great work.
Friday,
We're all
I'm in
happy for you.
My strongest opinions. My strongest opinion right now at this exact moment is, yeah, the Cure could write a good pop song when they felt like it.
Yeah, when they wanted to.
They didn't always want to, but sometimes they felt like writing a banger pop song, and then you got Just Like Heaven or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I always think of Green Day's Time of Your Life and how they fucking hate that song.
Sometimes you write a song that is like in one specific sense perfect, and you hate it because it wasn't anything like the song you actually want to spend your time playing.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure something similar happened to the Beastie Boys because they were not intending to be a rap group. They just sort of fell into that.
They liked it. I think they were more
They were not opposed to it.
Yeah, I think they took more issue with like the people misinterpreting the lyrics to their original album as like, yes, we believe this, as opposed to, yes, we did this because it was dumb as shit.
Yeah. You wake up late for school and you don't want to go. And people are like, my God. We all love that song. It's a fantastic song.
Sometimes I gotta fight for my right to party.
But it is about, hey, dumbass, this is a dumb thing.
This is dumb. This is stupid, and they got
openly
unironic
stupid.
fandom. And that was the problem.
Yeah.
But man, they were, I can't imagine someone not liking the Beastie Boys. It does not register in my head.
Oh, yeah, no, you'd be weird. It would be weird if somebody didn't like the Beastie Boys. What is the song I'm thinking of right now? Nope, it's gone, which is good. My brain is a labyrinth, and I am the Minotaur trapped in it.
I get that on a t-shirt.
Occasionally, people enter the labyrinth to try and kill me, and it never fucking works.
Now you went too far. You should have just quit while you were in the labyrinth.
Yeah, you should have stopped.
No, this is a relatable experience.
Nobody said it wasn't.
Snowfall is already starting to melt.
What a relief.
The spirits are
Granddad
proud of
Rock, you
celebrating
rock
the
so
beginning
well.
of a new home. They're welcoming us. Great, wonderful. Can we get out of the cold already?
Oh, so if you didn't notice,
Who it was who said they
you get
wanted
like
to make
little
a bunch of
tornado
snow
powers with the
earlier?
wind thing, but
I never glom
the
past.
moon power
Focus
allows
on
you to
now,
slow
Dad.
time for like platforming that
Then speaking
exists
of the
exactly in this area and nowhere else.
Shut the fuck up, waxing gibbous.
We'll reach a plateau. The harbor is just beyond that.
Harbor?
But at least you get to see some cool slow down
I always wanted
platforming.
a chance to see
That is pretty cool.
The ships there will take us to Ilistana.
Thinking of games with very cool slowdown mechanics.
I hear Ilistana is
I guess it's just the Bayonetta series.
The recent
Pac-Man Championship Edition.
Didn't Fallout have a similar?
Beats had cool ones.
the recent
Yeah.
Astrobot had like 2 levels where you could slow down time. It was pretty cool.
More like Astrobot.
Hey, that's the game of the year you're talking about.
The Queen of Ilistana is attentive to the needs of the alms. She will pray.
Game of the Year at the Keeley Awards. Infuriating Mr. Black Myth Wukong.
Wasn't Black Myth Wukong the one that was like, yeah, motherfuckers, we're not woke?
Now,
Yeah.
now that the Game Awards are over, can we stop trying to claim that that was an actual game? It wasn't just made up to fill out a spot.
Something wrong?
It was absolutely made up to fill a spot.
I saw no evidence that this was an actual game.
Like you did not see the millions of baying like hard right Chinese netizens.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that was like a cause celebre for Chinese chuds.
Oh, also, the
Oh,
best
man.
mana character gets reintroduced here.
Okay, you were frozen
What?
solid a second ago.
Cactus boy?
Cactus Boy.
I want to be very specific and clear. Like specifically, like not Chinese people in general. Specifically, like the Chinese equivalent of Gamergate people.
Did that plant thing drop something back there?
Yeah.
I knew Gamergate was dead when I did an entire thread about about resurrecting its spirit to demand the location of pirate gold, which is what all like 1920 seances were about.
Yeah,
It's incredible.
that's who knew where the gold was.
It's incredible how like every single seance was, tell me where the gold is. It's like, oh yeah, no, you pierced between the veil of life and death, and you want to use that to make some money.
I mean, what would
When
be the
the
point
war-
otherwise? Did you see freaking
What
today
else you
people
gonna-
were sharing leaked photos of heaven?
When the war ended, my grandpa was spit upon, but kept his pride. It is in this spirit that I choose to carry the burden of gamer. #Gamergate.
But no, I did this whole thing about how like, basically I just like made a bunch of like 2014 specific jokes in 2020 like 2 or whatever when I wrote that shit. And I didn't get a single response from like anybody like searching the words and being like, "Hey, that's mean. Don't do that."
One of the funniest interactions that Drill ever had on Twitter was the point where someone like said, "That's like that tweet that I just said." Someone responding to that like, "That seems disrespectful to
Whatever
I don't
war
know
you're
what war
talking
you're
about."
talking about, but it's some war." And girl responding, "What about I take a big jar, I shit and piss in it for like 3 months, and then sneak into your house and dump it on your bed?" this reply chain is sadly dead, but at the time he's like the guy responded with like that doesn't seem very respectful to pour a bunch of shit on my bed, and Jill just responds, piss also. I'm a good man, a respectful man.
It's immortalized in one of those drill pencils, the drill edits of Zen pencils, and that's the best shit ever. My favorite one of those is I was a villain in WWE. My nickname was Loser Fuckface Nerd, and my catchphrase was I can't beat them, they're too strong.
I can't beat them, they're too strong. Yes, people died in the war. Whatever war you're talking about.
Whatever war you're talking
Stop
about.
trivializing it. I'm a good man, a respectful man. I wasn't aware that good men threaten to dump 3 months worth of feces on people who disagree with them. Piss also.
This is what civilization has evolved to.
This is where civilization peaked. We're all down. It's all down here from here. It's all downhill from here, buddy.
I got worse.
Oh no. Said son, you better listen. Stuck in your ass is an electrician.
Bob, I am sharing important knowledge in your chat. I hope you appreciate it.
I always do, even though I usually only read it afterwards, and I say, why was Beat doing that?
In what world does Gogglebob get to play good games and not complain? Am I dreaming?
For slacking off, Val. Okay, fine, I'll keep fighting. Just stop smiling at me like that.
Yeah, Fanboy's gonna get to play all the cool Tony Hawk games.
Yeah, I engineered this.
No, I'm going to actually, like, the joke was you would only find out what I typed later, and like then you would put together what you had just said and what I had just written and be like, oh, that's the answer. But no, I'm going to tell you this right now because this is important that you hear this from me to you because I love you as a friend, right? You always had the option to play games that didn't suck ass. And you, for the past 12 weeks, have said, no, I am going to play the shittiest, baddest, worst games imaginable.
And we all
That
keep
is your
coming
call. You made that choice, and like, the fact that you made it still baffles all of us, but like you do not get to be like, well, why do I have to play all these bad games? No, that was you. That wasn't us. That was you.
I do expect that Gogglebob should put it should tag when it goes on his website. The first Tony Hawk should be tagged as a Superman game.
Why not?
Everyone's got a story, don't they? Life's full of surprises.
I am glad to know at least one of us has been to Elistana before.
I should be able to keep us from getting lost once we reach the city.
Which Tony Hawk had Wolverine in it? Was that 3 or 4?
I suppose we'll just
I believe that, or because like eventually it becomes like a tradition that they have like some licensed characters based on whatever Activision owned at the time. Shrek is in one of them.
Wow.
I must not have played long enough to find that one
You
out.
have to get pretty deep into Tony Hawk's Underground to get Shrek. Okay, Wolverine's in 3. Django Fett's in one of them, I think 4.
Nice.
I don't remember why.
The Dugbears will love this.
I mean, I don't think why is really relevant here.
I mean,
But-
presumably it would have been opposite like episode 2?
Yeah, that's why it's in 4, because it came out in 2003. But really, the reason I say I don't remember why is Activision didn't have the Star Wars license. They would have had to negotiate for that.
Which is why they wound up with
One of them-
Django Fett.
One of them has Doom Guy in it.
Wow.
Okay,
I
which
mean,
one's
from
he?
the back
I love
of the
the
head,
Doom
I'm
Guy.
not sure I could identify Doom Guy.
I have not played Wow. Okay. So like, I actually went to the desiccated husk of Twitter to find the Bastard of Earth tweet for my Bob's chat. You'll see it eventually. Don't worry about it. And I had gotten a notification, which is strange because I explicitly like declared my account dead, locked it, everything on it. Like, everybody
salted as much as you could.
Yeah, like it still exists explicitly, so I can find old stuff I wrote a while ago that maybe I want to dig up, or just look at other
and
tweets.
To keep people from like stealing it or whatever.
Yeah, to keep people from stealing it, so that like nobody else gets it. But no, 8 hours ago, some random ass motherfucker just tweeted at me, "Big crypto pump today."
It's me, Big Crypto Pump.
It's strange that my very dead Twitter account somehow just still blocked this dickhead.
Okay, so I looked it up, and so Doomguy is in the PC version of Tony Hawk 3 only. And he is unlocked by putting in the code that unlocks, if you type in the key combination that gets you all of the weapons, ammo, and keys in the original Doom. Which is cute. And it seems to be the model that was used for Quake 3 Arena.
Alright, I am print screening this because this is important. The wiki quote. Wiki quote has several images of drill tweets. Just because. So here you go.
Oh yeah, I love the studiously updated wiki quote for Drill that like collects some of his best work from every year.
Yeah. Girls always love telling people not to mansplain, but they do not care of man's pain.
All right, there, Ken.
We are in your debt. Take care.
Oh, so anyway, we just got mounts.
Okay.
And a
All right.
bell.
Cool. Whatever.
A bell for the mounts. This is not Final Fantasy V. You may not use this as a weapon.
Are
This
you
cat is an extremely fancy lad.
Describe how wonderful it felt to ride across
Oh, he's a
the
big
grass
fluffy.
on the back of that big
Okay, that's adorable.
I hate him. Hope he dies.
That
Isn't
seems a
that like
little
one
rude.
thing about replaying all the mana games? Like, I found out, like, I played this before we did the whole run through, obviously, and
Wait, it's called a pickle?
what was that?
Sorry, continue.
Well, I was just going to say, I thought these things were obviously, like, from a random mana game that I couldn't think of, and I think this is just original to the game. They just came up
Which
with
means they did a good job of matching the aesthetic.
Yeah.
Right, but like the text that was on the screen, they're called pickles.
Yes.
Yeah.
No. This is too
fluffies.
cute to be called a pickle.
So yeah, any of the open areas now you can summon these dudes.
Is that a deer?
Those can be cute.
Look at it jump. That's the ocean in the distance, right?
Look at the way it's
Which reminds me.
If I had a gigantic dog that I could ride around on in a big open world video game area, I would name it Ice Cream Cake.
That's long. I would have named it Herman. No real reason.
Yeah, that's a funny name. I named my big horse in the Legend of Zelda, the most recent Legend of Zelda games, Big Gus, with two G's and then 2 more G's.
So 4 G's?
Yes, Big,
4G Gus?
2 G's, and Gus.
It's
Two
an
big
important
G's.
question. Were any of your horses named Dragula?
No. I named one Montauk because it was a monster. But that's a reference to a Laura Stevenson song, not a Rob Zombie song. So
But isn't
subtly
it
different.
also a town in New York.
Yes, it is.
I'm in the back of my Dragula.
Which is what the Laura Stevenson song's named after, the Montauk Monster, which was a corpse of an animal they pulled out of the lake there. And people were like, "Oh, it's a cryptid. It's like some sort of super monster." No, it was just a bear, but the skin had rotted off.
Gross.
Something like that.
Yummy.
Yummy.
Yum.
Put that on your dam.
No.
No.
What?
Yes.
I had a party over the weekend and I have food left for days, so I keep eating naan.
Give it to me.
I mean, that's a good time.
It was on sale at Aldi.
I don't blame you. I'm saying you're making a good choice.
I did have to freeze some of it.
It's not. It'll be good.
Yeah.
I made flatbread tonight, and it was delicious.
Give me your flatbread.
Too late. I ate it all.
God damn it.
I was hungry.
So mean that you wouldn't share.
Yeah, you need to bring it up for the class, Pete.
Ship can take us across the sea to the capital of the deep.
Oh, so this is where we meet the miserly squirrel, who eventually tries to take over the world, but that's only in the post game.
Intellect 1 star.
Yeah, it's 1040. So yeah, okay. So here's the guy.
Here he comes, Speed Racer. He's a demon on wheels.
See, they got the squirrel tails, and they got like chipmunk incisors. Maybe they're supposed to be chipmunks. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna look at these people now. Oh, I don't like this. When you said squirrel, my brain just like defaulted to like Marvel's Squirrel Girl, who's just a person
character
with
that
squirrel
eventually
tail.
joins your party is closer to Squirrel Girl tail.
Sure.
But like the thing I saw when like the second of the cutscene there when I clicked back to it was horrifying. I don't like that.
It's gone. Oh no.
Is something amiss, Master Pasor?
The key. It's gone.
Yeah, I do not like this guy.
Again, he's supposed to be greedy to the point that he threatens the entire world.
So the obvious solution is to shoot him in the head.
But someone that vibrant couldn't possibly be a bad guy.
I will ensure that your sentence is light.
Get the fur out of your ears. I said.
I mean, we've got all sorts of random furry civilizations, but there's never any explanation as to whether or not purple hair is considered like normal.
In my world, it is.
Purple fur.
Oh no, Karina seems to have picked a fight with the wrong individual.
You know that guy?
Hey,
One of Philistanus most notoriously
Screaming Red Skull just came in with a raid.
He has his sights set on the throne.
We got raided?
He'd have no trouble.
Yep, you got raided.
Oh dang!
First time for everything.
You're like important or some shit.
This is what happens when you play a game that like is recent and people like.
Yeah.
I feel like that's relative.
I mean, I will say, go out and buy Visions of Mana to support the studio that got closed the second it was released.
Wouldn't buying it just give the money to whoever owns the remnants of that studio and not the actual people that made the game then?
Fanboy has said that the people that own the remnants did actually rehire a lot of those people, so...
Understood. If you cannot find my purloined property,
Yeah, no, pirate this game. Steal it.
the fishes of the deep will be more lenient towards larceny.
Also, fun fact: the ship that you're going to be traveling on is called the Prim, which was the name of the girl from Secret of Mana, and her boyfriend Diluc gets the other named ship in this game. So it's like a clever reference.
That's not that clever.
For everyone that was paying attention to Secret of Mana stuff.
So, like, just...
Nobody?
You're coming with us. No thieving newcomer will ever escape justice.
Just Bob.
So our dragon is being accused of stealing but we will rectify the situation by finding the least trustworthy guy in the world who will eventually kill our girlfriend.
Stealing what? Where does a dragon even have pockets?
The dragon
well,
girl. She's wearing clothes. Not
I
not
thought you meant the dragon.
Yeah, because you have a dragon girl and you have like an actual fucking dragon. Like, no qualifier.
I do understand that that causes problems, and I apologize.
As long as you take responsibility for your actions.
I will distinguish dragons in the future. I will, dare I say it, imagine dragons. I'm glad that made Crows laugh.
I don't think my mic
hammers
die.
So if we're getting raided, does that mean I have to become a VTuber? Should I become a VTuber?
You already are a VTuber.
No, I'm not a VTuber.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that, nerd.
A man named Kassar asked us to search for something of his. Have you seen a missing key?
I mean, doesn't tubing require some sort of special setup or motion capture or something?
Yeah, that's what they'll tell you, but no. VTubing just requires the soul of a VTuber, and Gogglebob absolutely has that on lockdown.
I mean, I can't disagree with that.
Of course.
And Maggie did design a VTuber for me, so like I just gotta map
and
that
an
to
evil
a 3D
version.
model.
Aha! There it is. Hold your horses.
All right, here's the dude that should not be trusted.
Hey,
Urin.
Warren? Is that really you? Don't worry, I've been keeping tabs on the situation. You go on ahead to the magistrate. I'll meet you there.
He's just randomly hanging around the borders doing like thief stuff.
Like a creeper.
Pretty much.
But how's he planning on getting the missing key?
And it does turn out that the entire reason he's doing all of this is he had a really bad breakup. Which, granted, the breakup involved his girlfriend turning into a statue, but yeah, same difference.
What?
Look, man, when you live in a fantasy world, like, stuff happens.
Something stuck to your back. Oh, look. I think it's a key. Is this what you were making people look all over town for?
Does it?
I mean, it happened at least once, so it evidently happened.
God, why do you do this to me, Gogglebob? Why must you rake me across these coals of inequity?
So that geezer had the key the whole time.
Also, what the fuck is wrong with, like, the purple dude's face? I hate him. I hate him so fucking much.
Again, he literally tries to destroy the world, so hating him is an appropriate response.
I don't hate him for that. I hate him for his... Oh god, I almost made an argument for phrenology. I need to sign off and think about...
You have the brain pan of a stagecoach driver.
I need to sign off and think about what I've become.
Look, I'm just gonna say this, and I don't care if I get canceled. You're allowed to be racist against squirrel people. Like,
I don't like that.
I don't like that either.
I mean, if you meet somebody who is like a squirrel, then you're allowed to be racist against them. I'm gonna say it. Like, many people are saying this. I'm the only one that's like speaking out about it. I'm so brave.
Many people?
I think exactly one person is saying it, and it's you.
This is so brave of me.
I don't feel like you're being controversial and brave. Like, I'm being controversial and brave when I am a declare all of you guys to be a cringe and soy while I am based. That's absolutely controversial and brave. But I don't think you're being controversial and brave when you say that racism against squirrel people is good, actually.
I see how it is.
I mean, obviously, I just Freudian slip there. Your racism against skull people will not go unpunished.
It won't. I will beat you with a tire iron.
Yay! Record it.
The Prim will be leaving the
We invite all future Tire Iron Assault's trials to use this as evidence.
Alright, so we're gonna go on this boat ride and then we're gonna call it a night because, surprise, I might know that this boat ride is something that happens that may or may not also happen in Dragon Quest VIII.
I love Dragon Quest VIII.
I know.
Which one was that one?
Was pretty risky considering the target.
Was that the PS2 one?
It
They
was
got a
PS2
3DS for it.
Oh, okay. I played that one and enjoyed it, but did not get far in it.
I didn't get that tutorial.
Like you had everything covered.
Dragon Quest IX was the DS one, right?
Yes.
That one I made it all the way to the end of, and it was good.
That was
I
my
liked
first. I think that was my first Dragon Quest that ever really clicked.
Really?
I played the Game Boy Color version of Dragon Quest III, and that one really sunk its hooks into me. I got much further in than I would have expected.
And
So
how
much
many
so.
girls did you have at that point?
All of them.
That's weird.
That's the first I've heard of it.
No, actually, in those ancient playthroughs, I only had one. The others were merchants and I want to say fighter or warrior, whatever the like fighter class is. It's basically a fighter.
Yeah, I think it's a warrior.
Mana sword of the champion of the mana goddess.
Oh yeah, so at this point it's revealed that in this version of the mana world, the mana sword isn't even talked about. Like the mana goddess is important, the mana tree is right up there, but the mana sword is like, what are you talking about?
It's the shit.
Which I guess is supposed to be kind of like a plot twist, but you know, it's called Second Densetsu, people.
Then things were totally different from what we know today.
You knew it was going to show up.
Why did everything change?
I suppose
Did we?
I never thought about it.
I will never know. I walked through life in a haze.
Same. So what's the over/under on a Nintendo Direct happening this week?
I mean, it's already Tuesday, and they haven't said it's happening tomorrow.
Yeah. It would be very funny if they just dropped a YouTube video.
I think it would be funny if they just dropped an Amazon listing and said it was official and like, go to town.
Go nuts. Do whatever you want. Who cares?
We know you're gonna buy this.
Right.
It would actually be kind of hilarious if like the SKU appeared in a bunch of big box stores, and then Nintendo had to literally release a statement like, "Oh shit, we thought that was next week. I'm sorry. Wait, we screwed up. We'll have a direct in 24 hours. We swear."
Spirits?
Maybe they were.
I will
planning on a
almost
big
definitely
TikTok.
buy the Switch 2, which I am going to refer to, since it will definitely not be called the Switch 2, as the Switcheroo.
Oh my god, that'd be awesome.
I know, right? I will almost definitely buy one, eventually. Probably not for, a few months, but like eventually they'll say, hey, new Zelda is coming out, and I'd be like, oh shit, new Zelda. Powerless to avoid it.
I'll get it at launch because I'll need something new to play Switch games on because my old Switch longs for death, as we've discussed.
I maintain that I'm not a betting man. That is not something I'm into. But if I were a betting man, I bet one of the launch games is going to be Tears of the Kingdom DX or whatever you want to call it.
Careful of the swell of the waves.
Yeah, I would honestly sooner bet on Prime 4.
It's possible. But
Crazy thing is, Prime 4 was announced as a Wii U game, right?
No, it was never announced as a Wii U game. It was strictly a Switch game. But it was announced at near the Switch's launch at the first Game Awards or something.
All right, excellent.
And then the whole development schema they'd cooked up that apparently involved coordination between a Japanese team, American team, and a Singaporean team, kind of twisted in the wind, and Retro ended up taking up the project after pitching it.
That is one heck
Metroid.
of a squid.
It's the Kraken. It's been
It's
released.
the Kraken.
Level 10.
The Kraken actually appeared in the original Final Fantasy Adventure, so it's like theoretically a reference. I don't know.
I don't think you get to say it's a big squid enemy and call that a reference.
But there was a big squid enemy in the first one.
There are big squid enemies in every video game. Congratulations, asshole! You made a video game.
It was a blooper.
Big squid anime.
Terrible, and you should feel bad.
As you should.
I love feeling bad.
I meant Goggle Bob.
So do we want to make any other switcheroo predictions?
Yeah, sure. It will.
I'll enjoy using it.
I'm very fond of what I said to Kane this morning, which apparently got a shitload of RTs and likes somehow because I guess people like when I make fun of Kane. But my thesis there was that Kane was like, oh, I guess I'll I won't care about it until it's emulation ready. So I just said, motherfucker, it'll be the most perfect PC 98 machine ever. Every major company will just dedicate themselves to doing limited color pixel art of women in very elaborate evening gowns standing out on balconies staring out at sci-fi cities. From hell's heart I stab at thee.
God.
So I'm standing by that.
Considering you just made me think that considering how the eShop has a new hentai game every week, I wonder how many hentai games we're going to see on the new Switch system before we see an actual Mario game.
I see that. It was quite a show.
My favorite fact of the Nintendo Switch is that somehow the Nintendo Switch had Waku Waku 7 before an actual Mario game.
That's Arcade Archives for you, baby.
Very important.
That would be something nice to have is Return of the Nintendo Seal of Quality.
No,
Nintendo Seal of Quality always just meant it won't crash, probably. We hope.
It would be hilarious to have an entire eShop where 90% of the stuff has Seal of Quality. You can just search for what doesn't. It's just I'll protect you. Hentai golf.
The Seal of Quality is something you can filter on and exclude.
Yeah, exactly. Which game don't
Hentai
have
golf,
the Seal of
sometimes
Quality?
known as Hulf.
I don't want to play hentai golf. I do not want to mix pornography and golf.
A good fuck spoiled.
What?
I refuse to believe that there are not games on the eShop that will crash the Switch.
Oh, I'm
there
sure
are
there are
plenty.
tons.
There aren't any that will cause permanent damage to it.
Yeah, you can still once it crashes, you can just turn it back on and it'll be fine. Hopefully.
Primarily received blessings from the Queen of Illistana at the rites of initiation.
In theory.
Can you
Alright, so the ship's pulling in the port here, coming up on 11 o'clock. I think we've gotten a good taste of Visions of Mana here. We recruited a cat and a dragon. If we went a little bit further, we get our squirrel girl, but
after the destruction of the Earth Village, there is
I just don't give a fuck.
Just for anybody who wants to play the game, if you're looking for a squirrel character, they're so close.
I can't help the spark of excitement in my heart.
Did you start 20 hours into the game?
I started 1 hour into the game.
If you say
Maybe
so.
even closer to 40 minutes. It was just very much I see what they're trying to do at the beginning of this game because the whole point is that it's this big journey across the world. And at the beginning of the game, they're trying to make a big deal about literally everything that happens and weave that into a tutorial. So it's oh, wow, it's our first monster encounter. Literally your first, 1,000 things. And it just means there's a cutscene every 3 seconds.
The eastern port of the Manador
And here's a fun fact. If you've been watching this tonight, you'll notice there are cutscenes pretty damn often anyway.
Oh, fanboy, new Tony Zarette video.
What's that?
New Tony Zarette video.
Huh, I haven't watched much of this, so I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, it's a good one. He
trust you.
He always starts with the like basis of like, oh, I'm doing some trend chasing shit, and his start this with this one is I'm going to watch every movie,
all of them,
all of them.
My favorite of those kinds of YouTube.
Release order.
All of them. Don't worry.
All of them, just in totally random order.
I watched. I while I was working, left on a video of someone like giving their thoughts on every Disney Channel original movie in a completely random order.
Geology.
I respected that. Like, I spent a while trying to determine, does he have a reason for why they're in this order? And determined, no, it's not the order he watched them. It's not the order they came out. It's not alphabetical. It is a completely random order.
Yeah, it's the chaos order. No, I think Tony Zarette is the only person I trust to do like satire. Partially because one of his like taglines is satire is a kind of comedy that's not funny. Like he captures the attitude of just like the worst bullshit on YouTube so perfectly and so effortlessly. And he runs with it every single time. It's amazing. He is truly one of God's own prototypes.
All right. Well, this is where we're wrapping up for the night. So thank you for watching. This is the end of mana. So if anybody's got last mana thoughts, spit them out now.
No, most
of them are bad. Mana series is like based on watching this game and being like, yeah, sure, I could see myself playing this game and not hating it. I'm going to give Mana the highest props I possibly can and say it took only 35 years to become functional.
More like 25.
When would the first game come out?
1990.
1990?
Taking this?
35.
Goddamn math.
Are you 55?
All right.
55 bells will chime.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for
from
manning.
the silver cup.
See you next week for Tony Hawk.
Another game. Later, guys. Later,
The game
let's
we
go.
all love.